This episode of the View from the Rock podcast is brought to you by Sign Dog Northwest. They're your source for custom signs, banners, boat names, fleet graphics, and more. Custom design services available. And this podcast is also brought to you by Merle Inc. They're the premier custom home builder in the Cle Elum area and a proud featured home builder in Suncadia Resort and Tumble Creek. Welcome back to another episode of The View from the Rock. Today, we are going to be talking about, a little recap of the Seahawks from Anacortes. Talking about the Huskies, musical genre is going to be bands/albums from 1975. I've heard that was a good year. We've got a beer of the week from Boneyard Brewery. And we got top 3 fictional athletes. Swap, how are we doing?
Doing great. This weekend, I think, was one of the greatest sports weekends of my life.
Everyone's going to laugh at me, but I 100% agree.
It started just rolling into it. Thursday was not a great day, but we had the Seahawks Thursday.
They look good.
They did. They lost.
But still, we put up 35.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then Friday was just the day that we'd been waiting for all year. And I can't imagine a better year as a Husky fan than beating Oregon twice.
And the Cougars.
The Cougs are like the little brother. It doesn't matter. The Oregon Ducks suck. I hate them with all of my life.
Well, that's
and
the
for
deal.
us to beat them 3 times before we've lost to any other team. We've won 20 in a row.
I think we might have broke them.
And then they're playing Liberty.
That is the icing on the cake.
Hey, Big Chris, I know you're loving it. Hey, it's amaze balls, baby.
The best part, too, is that not only is it 3 times where pretty quickly they're defeated and they just don't even care, it's 3 times where we beat them by 3 points each time. And they thought that they could win, and we snatched it back from them.
And their coach is something. He's 0-3 against us.
Some people want him fired.
Because it's almost like the Michigan-Ohio State. You've never beaten Ohio State like Harbaugh won, for the first 3 years.
You were giving me vibes saying that. I realized that, that's what it's going to be. Going to the Big Ten, that's now our big rivalry.
And that's the game every year now is Thanksgiving weekend is Oregon UW. Wow. The Friday night swap at your house was electric.
Oh,
it was so fun.
I lived and died 1,000 deaths.
I think I saw 10 of them.
Yes. And then
the rebirths of 10.
We also...
The Moores were there. We had a great time with Kirk and Kelly. Shout out to Kelly, big time listener.
We had a nice trip to the casino beforehand.
Made some bets.
Yep.
I made a nice bet for Green Bay beating Kansas City.
Holy, no way.
I'm like, Josh, why not? He's like, okay.
And I don't know if Ruck knows this, but we ended the night running around the cul-de-sac.
What?
Yes, but we had our clothes on.
Yeah, it was kind of like Will Ferrell in Old School, but with clothes on.
Wow.
And we just yelled, "Go Huskies" around the cul-de-sac.
That's amazing.
Flynn had a great time, too. That was a great night.
It was.
And then we wake up. I'm like, oh, I got an hour, and then we're going to go watch the state title game.
And there was no doubt in my mind, and I said this on the last podcast, we're going to win the whole thing. There was no doubt.
If you saw that game live, if you saw it online, you probably thought the same thing, but to see in person, you can tell the speed difference in a game when you're watching it. And our athletes are just
different
so
level,
much better.
Different level.
Yeah, if you were to create a tier list of athletes, it would appear that we have multiple in the S tier, and everyone else is only A tier at best. Our athletes are way different.
There were times where Brock got the ball, or even Brady, and there was a guy literally right there, and he made one move, and then all of a sudden it's 30 yards.
And we have 7 guys like that.
Well, Rylan Lang
not
went
like
up.
Brady.
Rylan Lang went up and just got amazing catches.
It was just on demand.
You know who
Anytime.
else I thought was amazing was Tyler Olsen.
Oh,
Tyler Olsen had the best game of his life.
he broke the wing tee.
Yeah.
Single-handedly.
And we talked about it earlier. And Ruck, you can talk more because you used to coach. But we think it was because he was shorter. And he wasn't taller.
Why do you think that would matter? Not to call you out. I'm just wondering what your
Just like
thought
seeing
process
the
is.
wing, seeing like the quarterback hold the ball for the last second in certain situations. I don't know. It was just like when their first drive, I was like, oh shit, like this is a game.
Yeah. I mean,
But Tyler Olsen was like, he was there. He was always there.
He was just shooting gaps.
Yeah.
I was gonna say it's hard. I have a hard time focusing on individual players and being very analytical when I'm in person, and so I don't know what was going on. But normally, if you're gonna stop a wing tee, you've got to be really disciplined in your reads. A lot of the times, it can make you slower, especially the first times that you see a wing tee. We saw a lot of wing tee this year, though, so
Yeah.
I imagine that they've gotten pretty used to it.
But they were a different level.
Well, and the other way, though, is you can just get A-gap penetration because everything happens from the midline. So you see that quarterback, he gets swatty down there, and it's like he's dealing cards in a poker game.
Yes.
And that's what we call the midline. So from there, all the handoffs that are happening, if you can target that middle area, you can be super disruptive. But if you don't get it, like there could be big plays.
There was a point in the first half, I texted my baseball coaching buddies and said, we're going to score 60. And by the end of the game, I thought we could have scored 80.
Well, I know Dumas was upset. He wanted to give up 20. I thought the reffing was awful.
I thought, I don't know necessarily about the calls. What I was upset with was how deliberate they were making a call, going to the sideline, talking to someone, talking to each other. There was
And
no
it took
urgency.
5 minutes.
It took 5 minutes for the
Dude,
ref.
that game was 4 hours.
Yeah.
It felt like.
The second half was the longest
Oh.
second half of my life. And it seemed like the whole second half, they kind of said, well, we know Anacortes is going to win. We got to make sure there's no fights. Nothing gets out of control. And so anything that happened, it was just like, nope, personal foul. Like,
I mean, was it Brock or Brady went into the end zone and just did this?
yeah,
And they gave him a celebration penalty.
which he's done all game, all
Yeah.
season.
Guess what? Tumwater can suck it.
Or how about the 3rd and 42? We had 3rd and 42.
We scored a touchdown. Ryland went up and got the ball.
And it was like there was no doubt.
As soon as the ball left Rex's hands, I was like, yeah, that's a good choice.
They were wide open. The separation they had, that was a great, I mean, and the crowd, that was a reunion too
Yeah.
for us.
Well,
Maybe for Rock, I don't know, but I hadn't seen guys since they didn't come to the reunion, and they came to the game. Matt Riley, had a nice talk with Scott Matthews, who probably before this year, I don't know, maybe the greatest football player ever.
I've heard,
No, or Ryan? Do you count Ryan Long because he went to the NFL,
as far
or
as
Danny Curley?
how good they were as a Seahawk, I think is the important part. And I've heard multiple people from different generations all say Scott Matthews. I never saw him play, so I don't know.
So
he was incredible.
And so we kind of think that Ryland is the new Scott because he's also a wrestler.
Yeah, they're
and
very
Scott
similar.
was a state champion wrestler.
Gotcha.
Very
Ryan-
similar.
Yeah, Ryland just a little bit shorter.
Mm-hmm.
But both just crazy.
In a good way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and just dogs.
Yeah,
Yeah.
when you need them to bring the juice, like how Devin Witherspoon, even still as a rookie, he makes mistakes, but he brings the juice. He brings this energy, this ferocity that everyone else feeds on. Makes a big play. He lets everybody know about it in a way that's not going to get a penalty.
Rock,
And
would you
everybody-
say he brings a little je ne sais quoi?
Yeah, although I think any word that's French might be a little bit weak for something that they
Okay.
bring.
What?
But I understand what you're saying.
So, okay, Jenna sais quoi?
Jenna?
What did you say?
Je ne sais quoi.
Jenna?
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi?
Oh my gosh.
That was pretty good.
I'm going to
How
guess
do you
that.
spell? How do you spell that?
I can spell it. I'm not going to do it on the air.
Not to mention, okay, whatever. We're gonna move on from that. It was a great time. Yes, it was a bit of a reunion, all that kind of stuff.
But the crowd, we had 3,500.
Yeah, is that what the official number
Well,
was?
no, there's no official number.
Well, I know that everyone there said
Well,
our
it
crowd
was
by
number
far the
one.
biggest.
WIA came out and said we had the biggest crowd of any any game.
Yeah, it was really impressive. But, back to the Huskies, not to backtrack on us, but we left Friday night thinking we're going to the Rose Bowl.
Which I was
we
excited for.
we were going to go, and
I mean,
we got screwed.
Michigan, UW at the Rose Bowl. That would have
That's
been a
what
classic.
it normally is.
That's what it should have been.
But they're not putting Michigan 3, us 1, 2.
No, and
Which
I'm
is true.
trying to figure out though how the Sugar Bowl is more the less advantageous to Michigan than the Rose Bowl. I mean, Ann Arbor is closer to New Orleans than it is to Pasadena.
But they gave him the number 1, so they give him the Rose Bowl because that's what they always do: is Pac-12, Big Ten.
And it's tough to get to New Orleans from Seattle.
So
now we're not going, Ruck.
So now UW.
I'm perplexed.
UW is ranked. Nice words. UW is ranked number 2 in the nation. Michigan is ranked number 1. You're shaking your head like that's not true.
That's exactly correct.
Okay.
But it should
number
not
3,
be.
Okay. Number 3 is
Texas.
Texas. 1 loss. Steve Sarkisian.
What'd you say?
Steve Sarkisian.
Okay.
Sorry. Elocution. Number 4 is where things get pretty. People are not happy about number 4.
Well, we had one of our loyal listeners, Mr. Metcalf, send in on the View from the Rock Gmail.
So the View from the Rock at gmail.com?
Yes, the View from the Rock at gmail.com. A very good point. We have 3 Power 5 undefeated champions and 2 Power 5 champions with 1 loss. Of the 2 Power 5 champions with 1 loss, 1 beat the other. How hard is this?
That's easy. So you make, I know everyone hates it, but you make it like it should be. I mean, it should be Washington 1, Michigan 2, Florida State 3, Texas 4.
That's exactly what it should be.
It should be.
But there was no way they were going to keep Alabama out.
No. I mean, have you seen the SEC little meme? Oh, my God, it's so funny. Like, you can't keep out an SEC team because it's not allowed. ESPN will not allow it. Have you seen all the backlash right now about ESPN? The Vegas odds changing before the reveal.
Serious?
Yes.
Like the odds on who would get in?
Yes. Like, they already knew.
Wow.
They control the narrative.
Yeah, ESPN controls it.
Well, what's crazy is that they essentially said, you are not starting your normal starting quarterback, therefore we think you'll be worse. Not based upon anything.
But honestly, I would love to play Florida State.
Oh, that's who I'd want to play out all 4 of them.
They deserve to be in because they're undefeated.
Right.
That's just how it happens.
That's my point.
I know.
Yeah.
That's how it should be.
And you know what? I love that we're a 4-point dog. Texas can suck it. And Sarkisian's going to have trouble in New Orleans. He might have to go to his 12-step program with his friends.
I was going to say, he's a liar and an alcoholic.
Oh, man.
Did he show up at USC to a function just hammered?
Yeah, he did like a pep rally of some sort.
And absolutely on his lips.
Well, you know what?
Not on his lips.
Let's not
I know. We're not going to talk bad.
beat a man when he's down.
That's true. He's up, though.
He
Right.
is. Wearing cowboy
So
hats.
guess what? We're going to win.
Hook 'em horns.
I tell all
Yep.
the Oregon boys. I don't tell a lot of the Oregon boys. I only tell a few. I tell Big Chris every day. Big Chris bet me $50 that he has Texas.
Hey, so
And I got 3 points. I think we're going to win that game, and we're going to win the national title. I felt it all year.
when Georgia won, that's when I didn't know how.
You mean when Alabama won?
Sorry, yeah, when Georgia lost. That's when I thought to myself, UW actually could do this. When they went before with Jake Browning in 2016, I believe, they were feisty. First half, they were there with Bama.
Yeah.
I didn't think they were going to do it, though.
Hey, how about Jake Browning last night?
Yeah,
Holy
baby.
cow.
Amazing.
So I had a guy who's a Beaver guy, Mandic, Jason. He goes, I should have picked up Jake Browning. I knew he was going to be amazing tonight. And I said, oh, where did he go to college? Laugh emoji.
He had like 362 yards. And I feel like
And one rushing touchdown. He had 29 points in fantasy.
So I feel like I remember seeing him interviewed when he was in the CFP. And he said that when he graduated, he didn't think he wanted to go to the NFL. He just wanted to go to dental school.
Wow.
Well, he said, he goes, I've won a lot of games in my life, but I've never won in the NFL ever.
Yeah, never.
Dude, he won a state title. He won like 35 games at UW.
The greatest moment in UW history might have been him crossing the end zone and pointing at a guy, pointing at a duck.
With a finger, like a big finger.
Yes.
And then throwing the ball.
Yeah.
Was that the 70-21?
That was a 70-21. That was a game the Ducks came out and it looked like a 1920s Cal Bears uniform.
Hey, Matt, I love you, Matt, but you're 0-3 with your coach.
Hey, we want to keep him around.
I know.
We don't want him to get fired.
I know. And he does stupid stuff.
Hey, did you see today Bo Nix got first team All Pac-12
I heard that.
ahead of Penix?
Over Penix?
Yes.
What?
Yes. Rowan's like, Dad, how is Penix second team Pac-12, but he's going to the Heisman this week?
Well, but so is
Bo.
Nix. Yeah.
I think Penix is going to win the Heisman.
I think the LSU guy is.
That's what I've heard.
Really?
SEC.
Because they hate
SEC.
everything about every. That's bull. That's BS.
SEC is part of the reason.
Hey,
They're the reason why the Pac-12 dissolved. You look at the top 15 right now, and then it's all Big Ten teams that will be in the Big Ten or SEC next year, except for Florida State, right?
Hey, real quick, we have to do little shout out. Secret podcast, December 22nd, 1:30, maybe. We'll clear that up.
I was gonna say, why are you looking at me and asking me? You're the organizer.
I know, and so people are already excited. They're coming. We got people coming from. We might have someone coming from out of state
That's a lot of pressure
to come.
Wow.
Friday, it's going to be hopping. We're going to give merch.
Oh yeah. Speaking of disappointments, you bagged out on the dirty honey.
Yeah, so dirty honey didn't happen. I got sick Friday of Thanksgiving.
Sign Dog got surprised with Depeche Mode tickets.
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that's why he was.
But he ended up not going to
He
that.
did not go to that either, and they ended up selling them.
Wow.
But it was going to be me, you, and Josh.
And Ruck.
Yes.
But Ruck was a replacement for Sign Dog.
Yeah, and then I got sick as S.
Yeah.
So you're saying that was basically like Shane Falco.
Yes.
Wonderful. I have just as great a hair as him too. Shane Falco, quarterback in the replacements. What was the name of their team that Gene?
So
Hackman
why are you talking about that right now?
I'm just saying, like, I'm like him. I was
Okay.
ready to go, and then
I know you were, but you know what? I think everyone was actually excited that they didn't have to go
100%
on a Sunday night
Thanksgiving weekend.
in Seattle, and get home at midnight.
Would have been a nightmare.
Would have been a tough one.
I don't do well with no sleep. I'm like an old man. Hey, we had some shout outs too, right?
Yeah, a couple. We got some new listeners. My wife's cousins, Justin and TJ, Kochi, from Hawaii. Hawaii has a special place in my heart, but they are Niner fans.
So they'll never.
So
be
they
talked
will
about
they will
again.
actually fly to Seattle to watch the Niners, and then just text me photos of them being there, and not drive up to Anacortes.
Is everybody in Hawaii a Niner fan?
Yes, and a Dodger fan, because their broadcast of all their cable is West Coast and not Northwest. So they don't get Mariners. They get Lakers, Clippers, Dodgers, Angels, Niners, and probably Rams. That's it, because they're considered not Northwest.
The Niners there's a big footprint of Niner fandom.
There is.
There really is. That might be why I hate them almost as much as the Ducks.
They're like a virus. I've had multiple kids tell me that they used to be a Seahawk fan, but now they're a Niner fan. Like
How does that
kind of
happen?
stuff happens where
No, that because they have bad parenting.
probably
Like that just can't happen. But
so-
see, I don't know if I hate the Niners worse. I should hate the Niners worse, but the Cowboys right now, America's team sucks. Like, if that's America's team, like Jimmy, I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, I have a couple buddies that are Cowboy. I'm like, how are you a Cowboy fan?
So I was
living
kind
in
of
Portland, Oregon.
I was kind of a Cowboy
Jeremy
fan.
Vernon, Jeff Vernon, Murph.
I was kind of a Cowboy fan.
Why?
You know, because I think
In the 80s.
growing up, the Seahawks weren't very good, and so 1:00 Sunday afternoon, the Cowboys would be on. Danny White, Butch Johnson, Tony Dorsett. They were
Yeah,
fun to watch.
I know.
Tom Landry, you had the hat going on.
I think there really was a time where they kind of just were America's team. That
They
for
were.
whatever reason. I don't know if it was dads liked them and therefore their kids liked them.
But that was the 70s, 80s.
Well, what about Aikman, Michael Irvin, Emmett Smith? I like those teams.
You do?
Yeah, Jimmy Johnson. How about
See,
the
I
Cowboys?
kind of like the mid 80s Niners teams. I like Jerry Rice.
You like Joe Montana?
I do.
Bill Walsh?
I do. I did.
They're different now,
But
aren't
not now.
Yeah.
I freaking hate them.
okay,
I do
which
too.
And
Niners?
my mother-in-law thinks Joe Montana is the bee's knees.
they? Ooh.
Good for her.
Wow.
Good for
that's-
her.
Geez.
Hey, I think that's the first time that's ever been said on the podcast.
I think the 60s just showed up. here.
Man, I think
the
my
podcast.
vocabulary is getting worse and
The
yours
bee's
is getting
knees.
better.
The bee's knees. She's like, oh, he just came on TV and he did a commercial for what's the beer from over there? The Guinness. He does a Guinness commercial.
The beer
And she-
from over there.
Yeah. Over
That's
there
their
on
new
the other
tagline.
side.
Do you remember when
Guinness, the
his
beer
son
from
went to
over
UW?
Yes.
Oh,
He was a
yeah.
Sark recruit.
And then he
not
ended up
good.
transferring to Notre Dame, maybe?
No.
Or that was a different son.
I think he went to, well, it used to be 1AA. Now it's what, FCS? I feel like he went to an FCS school.
Yeah, that's what I thought as well, like North Dakota State or something like that.
But Joe Montana was likable.
Yeah. Roger Craig, Jerry Rice, Dwight
Okay.
Clark.
So, are the current Niners and Cowboys not likable? And if so, why?
So
'Cause
here's
I
what's
think-
going to happen.
And I asked that because the Niners that I hate the most were the Harbaugh Niners. I
Harbaugh
hated them
Niners,
so
100%. I could not stand the Harbaugh Niners.
I still hate the Niners with all my
Oh, I'm not saying
with
I don't.
everything, just because of my wife's family and just hating them because we hate them because we're NFC West. I think the Cowboys are just going to choke every time. They're not going to be in the NFC Championship. I think it's going to be the Eagles versus the Niners, and Niners are the best team right now in the NFL. Dude, they went and freaking smacked Philly at Philly. Smacked them.
How did they lose 3 games in a row this year?
I don't know. They're going to
crazy.
beat us by 28.
You know, I would say
I'm taking the over on the. I'm taking bets on. I'm betting against the Seahawks this weekend. I fell in love with betting, Ruck.
that's a new thing.
I bet
Are you saying you fell in love like 30 years
sports
ago?
betting
Okay.
legally.
Oh, nice. Well, as of today, the Seahawks are not in the playoffs.
Because the Green Bay won?
Yes. So, let that sink in as we know we're going to
$10
play
bet
the
won me
Niners
50
next weekend. The Niners followed by the Eagles. And then after that, Falcons, Cardinals. Cardinals just beat the Steelers.
Yeah. What's going on there?
They got Kyler back.
They still suck.
The Seahawks will be lucky
and the
if
Broncos
they beat
are
one
winning.
team the rest of the year. If they beat the Falcons, that's their only shot. Sucks. Hey, but you know what? On to happier times. We are going to talk about our musical genre.
Hey, real quick.
Okay, real
We
quick.
forgot about the preview for Anacortes High School basketball.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
First game this Saturday.
Mount Baker High School. The Baker
The
Dome.
Dome.
Yeah.
The worst place to play, I think.
Dude,
Yeah.
Mount
in the
Baker's
conference.
facilities in general for any sport are the worst. For track, it's a joke.
I know. We went
It's
there.
awful.
I went there last
Terrible.
year.
Terrible.
It was 40 degrees.
A lot of good people up there. I don't want to badmouth their facilities. But
You know what? Okay, their actual field that you play football on, I think is okay.
Rock and gave him a 0.
Yeah, you chose Mount Baker over me.
well, no, I didn't. I just a lot of good people up there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey, so I think preseason rankings.
I've seen us 3-1.
To
I've seen us 6-1.
That's state, Ruck.
It's gonna be it's gonna be a little bit of a battle. A lot of new faces, and
I'm excited because both our kids are on the team.
that's correct. So we're gonna be at every game
Yes.
starting Saturday at Mount Baker High School.
Yep.
Good soft landing. Then Monday we got Tiger Hawk.
Oh,
At
man.
Burlington.
Yeah.
Ruck, you gonna come to that one?
Take me with you.
Okay, I will.
Followed
So we
by-
already
I
we have a pregame rendezvous with some listeners from Mount Vernon. I'll say their names. The Keys brothers, Troy Holmes, and Corey Coleman might make an appearance.
Those are 3 Mount Vernon legends and Corey Coleman.
Yes, who is an Anacortes legend who
Yeah.
actually wore his Letterman jacket to the state title game. I know. Ruck wore his Letterman's jacket too. I can't believe how many people wore their Letterman's jacket.
Why wouldn't you? Especially if you played
I
football.
never thought of it.
I don't even know where mine is.
Like, my wife said, yours looks so dirty. How did the others look? I go, well, Corey Coleman's look worse than mine.
Yeah, I mean, I'll
Like,
be the
they've
first
never
to admit,
been washed.
I've
Yours looks brand new.
because I've barely worn it.
Yours,
When I was in high school, it was not cool to wear it, and so I didn't wear it.
it's never been worn.
Was yours white or purple?
White.
Mine too.
Yeah.
Was yours purple, Ruck?
Hey, I saw Shannon or Sherry Pinkush
They're
wearing
twins.
hers.
For those of them,
One of them.
those in our listening.
Remember
audience.
the old ones for girls had the little flap on the back?
Oh yeah,
Like the purple flap with a white.
I don't remember that.
Well, that was in the 80s, so that was you.
So when you say purple or white, are you talking about the body of it?
So the body was white and
And
a
then
purple, like it was
Lining?
yeah, but it was almost like they had wings.
No, I know for the
Oh.
but so like mine is a purple body.
No,
with-
it's a white
with
body.
white arms.
So we were all white.
We were all white
Okay,
with a.
We were all white.
that wasn't an option for us.
So
It
I'm
was-
going to wear my Letterman jacket one day to school this year.
Ours was purple, and then you could have either white sleeves or black sleeves. That
Because
was the
our
option.
our sons have just gotten theirs.
Okay.
Well, mine hasn't yet. He might never, but that's a different story.
Yeah. Let's keep the family off the air, right?
Yep.
Are we ready for musical genres now?
I think we are.
Well, this musical genre. Are you okay, Jason?
I am.
Okay. This is top bands / albums / songs from 1975. And why did we choose 1975?
Because that is the year in which one of our co-hosts, Mr. Morgenthaler, was born.
I've heard it was a great year. I wouldn't know.
June 27th, 1975. I have the same birthday with A-Rod.
Like,
Really?
To
Yes.
the year
Exact day.
and year.
Yes.
Wow.
I'll be damned.
It's a day that will live in infamy.
I'm better than him.
Well,
He's a wuss.
that's one opinion.
Well, yes, he definitely has more money than me, but
You know what? I bet you've got more friends.
So
he's weird.
quick dive into 1975 music, like it was with 1988. We got into this and wow, what a year. What are some highlights from 1975?
So I'm going to do albums first,
Okay.
and then maybe we can go through songs.
Yeah, I was more focused on albums myself. Probably a little oversight by me.
So I was the same. I did albums first, but then I started looking through the album and seeing like, oh wow, like that's a song that I love.
Yeah, absolutely.
So one of my first that I looked at was Aerosmith, Toys in the Attic.
Yeah, I had that album on CD. Can you say you had an album if it was CD?
You had it on CD or tape?
I had it on CD. When I first went to college, I joined one of those music clubs.
Oh yeah, you remember Columbia where you buy like 2 a month?
Well, and that was one of mine. I got Tom Petty's Southern
Well, hold
Accents.
on. Ruck has no idea what that means.
I'm super confused. A music club? Like you played music together?
No, way different.
So you would join Columbia.
Yeah,
You would pay a monthly fee,
like $8.99.
and then you would have to buy 2 albums or 2 CDs a month, and they would ship them to you.
Yeah.
So it's sort of the equivalent of like the beer box.
Yeah. So, but they would lure you in by saying you get like 8 for 99 cents. And then they have your information.
And probably only some are 99 cents. The ones you really want are not.
No,
it was
you
good.
get them, but then over the course of the year,
You keep paying the fees.
you're paying.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that, yes, 100%.
So anyway, that was one of my first purchases was Toys in the Attic.
So I mean, one of my songs from that album, Sweet Emotion,
Yep.
is, I mean, if we do a top 10 songs at the Secret Podcast, it might be on there.
Well, and the original Walk This Way was on that album as well.
Yeah.
A lot of people remember the Run DMC version, but that was the first
with
one.
Aerosmith, and that was probably mid 80s, 85.
Well, I think it was a little bit later than that, but yeah, I was going to say maybe 87, 88.
Yeah.
But you also had the title song, Toys in the Attic song. You've got Big 10-inch.
Unfamiliar with that.
Well, that's too bad.
When I was when I was in
Ran into that one, Ruck.
Boom.
Wow, I guess you would prefer to run into the Big 10-inch.
Oh my God! No, you can't. No, don't go defending.
I knew what I was saying. So when I was in high school, I loved Aerosmith. They were sort of like a hair band to me because it was all kind of old. And they had long hair.
But do you think the late Aerosmith is what you listen to? Like Love in an Elevator,
Angel.
Janie's Crying.
I mean,
Janie's got a gun.
That I don't
Dude
know.
looks like
I
a
don't-
lady.
Dude, or was it like this? Like
It's like this stuff.
okay,
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Although, they have one of the greatest ballads ever that was on the Armageddon soundtrack. Don't want to close my eyes.
I thought you were going to say Sweet Emotion, and then I forgot that they had the Armageddon song.
Oh, it's so good.
Oh, I'm sorry, not Sweet Emotion, but Dream On.
No, we're not. I'm not watching Ben Affleck.
That is a great movie.
Like,
Was Bruce Willis in that movie?
yeah,
Yes.
and hang out with.
And Steve
that's
Buscemi.
Liv Tyler. That's Steven
Yes.
Tyler's daughter.
Yes.
Oh, man.
That is a great movie.
What
Okay,
else? What else we got?
I
from
got
that
one.
year?
I got one for you. TNT AC/DC.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that was that year.
So, I mean, I love AC/DC. They have a bunch of stuff, but TNT is a classic.
Yeah.
We've got also from that year one of the best album covers ever, Physical Graffiti.
Yes.
Zeppelin.
Yep.
Cashmere was on that album.
Cashmere was?
Yeah.
Dude, that is a big time album. I will save us the write up I found, but so Cashmere, Trampled Underfoot.
And In My Time of Dying.
Was that on there?
Yes, In My Time of Dying was on there.
Houses of the Holy, Boneyard. So
Yeah.
that
What?
album was a double album. It was the first that they released in 2 years. That was a big time album when it came out.
Was that their first one after Zeppelin 4?
Yes. I'm not 100% sure.
I'm not either.
So
Ruck, what do you got?
So I had some of those. One of the ones that I really focused on a lot because I feel like I saw when I was in college some sort of laser light show to it, and it was mesmerizing, was Wish You Were Here by Pink Floyd.
Oh, yeah. I remember you used to go to the Laserium down at the Seattle Center
Oh, yeah.
for the laser show.
Yeah. Laser light show and you lay down.
Yeah.
It's a
Can you believe that was a thing?
Oh, I know. Like you drive an hour and a half to go lay down for an hour and a half.
And watch lasers on the ceiling.
Yeah, and listen to songs.
And it was awesome.
And it was like Pink Floyd or Metallica.
yeah. So I don't know how they did it, but at Western, we had it at Western at one point. Not obviously quite the same setup, but and that album is kind of unique from the standpoint that there's really only like 3 real songs on it: Cigar, Welcome to the Machine, and Wish You Were Here. And
Shine on You Crazy Diamond.
But they start with Shine on You Crazy Diamond. It's parts 1 through 5, I believe, and then it's parts 6 through 9 at the end of it. And it's almost, I think it's all instrumental. And that album and that song especially is dedicated to Syd Barrett, who was a founding member of Pink Floyd, and then just kind of like went off into the wild. Just kind of slowly started to disappear from reality.
Did you know that, Swap?
I did not know all that.
Yeah. Like at some points was just catatonic, like couldn't respond to people. Like he was known for, I guess, having a kind of sparkle in his eye. Like his eyes were part of like his allure, I guess. And after at one point they said he came back from a long weekend and it was just like, he looked like he was dead in the eyes, just glassy. And he just never was the same ever.
So the last, might have been the last podcast or the previous one where one of my favorite albums was Blood on the Tracks, Bob Dylan.
Yep.
That's 1975.
Yeah.
Listen to a couple of these names. Welcome to My Nightmare, Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
Born to Run, Springsteen.
I have that right here.
Yep.
Hair of the Dog.
Hair of the Dog. And
Nazareth.
that had Love Hurts, and I think it had, it had Hair of the Dog.
Fandango, ZZ Top.
Yep.
Kiss
Tush.
are their first live album. that they
Kiss
released.
Alive.
Kiss Alive.
Yep.
Speaking of Kiss, did you see what they announced at the end of their last concert?
Yes. Their avatars.
They're
kind
going
of,
to
or their
continue to
AI.
They're going to continue to tour, but it's going to be avatars of them
Yes.
touring.
How do you feel about that?
I think it's awesome. They're just continuing.
Do you think people want to go?
They're continuing the brand. They're just going to make money. It's all about money. Gene Simmons doesn't give rat's ass for anything but money.
I know, but you're going to a concert hall and paying lots of money, and they're not even there in
I'm not
person.
going to go.
Right. Who
So-
would go?
Hey, I got one more. It's going to blow your mind. And I love this song, and I love it. I loved it for the last 40 years. So it's ELO. The album is Face the Music. And the song is Evil Woman.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, that's a great song.
Can you sing it for us?
Evil Woman.
Oh, that was
Yeah,
good.
that's good. Nice job, guys. One of my favorite bands, Jethro Tull, had Minstrel in the Gallery.
Oh, yes.
We watched a little Jethro Tull this morning
We
in PE.
did. And I love Jethro Tull right now because of Swap. Like, I never got into them. But, like, even though it's not 75, but Aqualung. What video you showed me today?
Yeah, that was...
For those guys, like, it's amazing.
They're amazing. And we listened today to a little of One White Duck, which is off Minstrel in the Gallery. It's
And they were
actually
just,
one of their
it's like,
softer songs.
what's going on in their minds during that time? I mean,
Aqualung, I think, is the only one I've really listened to from Jethro Tull. Probably need to fix that.
Yeah.
so Fleetwood Mac's self-titled album.
What do we call that?
Rhiannon, sorry.
Sorry. Which one did Super Bowl halftime?
Yeah, right?
No, Rhiannon is the song from Fleetwood Mac.
Okay. And then who did halftime?
Rhiannon.
Rihanna.
Rihanna?
think it's Rihanna.
Rihanna. Rhiannon is the song.
Okay, and Rihanna. Who's doing halftime this year?
No idea. I feel like they announced it maybe, but I don't remember.
Have you guys seen?
Is it Beyonce? No.
Oh, we got a couple more.
I have one that I've been saving. Can I say it?
Yeah.
We haven't said it. Night at the Opera. Queen.
Oh, yeah.
And You're My Best Friend. Love that song. But Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh,
One
yeah.
of the greatest songs ever.
What a great year.
So there's a couple that we talked about before we got here, Swap.
Can I say before you say something? The listeners can't see this. Morgie has show notes on note cards. I don't know if you've had these
They're
before.
not note cards. They're sticky notes.
Giant sticky notes? Okay.
Yes. Yeah. These are PE sticky notes.
Dude, I love that. I'm so impressed with you right now.
The research that Mr. Morgenthaler has done for this episode is mind-boggling.
It's bewildering.
It's earth
How
shaking.
about Foghat Slow Ride?
Oh, was that 75?
Yeah.
Was Foghat Canadian?
I can Google.
How about You're No Good? Who sings that, Swap?
I can. Oh, my gosh.
You know, she's. You're no good. You're no good. Baby, you're no good.
Who was that?
Linda Ronstadt.
Linda Ronstadt.
I mean, that's a name. Did we say Blackwater, Doobie Brothers?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, maybe we didn't.
The Eagles
One of these nights.
and yeah.
So
Bee Gees, Jive Talkin'.
Oh, I love that song.
How about David Bowie, Fame?
Are you ready to know where Foghat's from? They're from England. English rock
Really?
band. Yeah.
Well, that's almost Canadian.
Okay, I got one
Yeah,
more,
I'll be damned.
and I can't believe it, but I think it was just the songs. So right now, I've been going through just a ton of Love in America.
Yeah.
They put out in 75 Sister Golden Hair and Lonely People.
What?
Yes.
I didn't even see that on my research. That's amazing. You know,
I don't know. Hey, if you have any others, reach out to the email.
I'm sure we're going to get fact-checked.
You know
Yeah.
what, Tara, you have no idea what happened in 1975, so just do some research. Love you.
well, I think that we've gotten through all the songs, albums, unless you guys got one more. I think we're ready for a little break.
I got
before
one.
Beer of the week.
Bob Marley and the Wailers live.
Ah.
So No Woman, No Cry live.
I bet that album is really good over some headphones or something where you can get some real sound stage, hear all the different instruments they're playing. That'd be cool.
We also had Leonard Skinner, Nothing Fancy,
So what would be on that?
Saturday Night Special.
Oh, that's a great song.
Yeah. They're, you know what? They're a band where there's fun, quick little story. One night in college, I was visiting some friends at UW. KSW did a call in if you can name this Leonard Skinner song. Every one of them just sings the lyrics or the name of the song. It was the easiest contest ever. Like every one of them, you just like you don't even know the song, and you can guess the title. Give me 3 steps. Give me 3 steps.
I love it.
It was
I got
awesome.
a couple more on the list. The Who by Numbers, The Who.
Oh, I forgot that.
Grateful Dead, Blues for Allah,
Ooh.
Unfamiliar.
and Jefferson Starship, Red Octopus. I love a little Jane from Jefferson Starship.
How do you sit down at night and decide you're going to name an album Red Octopus? Don't answer that.
Are you fishing? I mean, there's different colors of octopus.
Sure.
Yeah.
Guess
All
so.
right.
Well, I think we're ready for a break here. When we return, we are going to get into our beer of the week, and that's from Boneyard Brewing. We also are going to have a little bit of a special taster from a friend of the podcast, Mr. Mithen. He's shared some Mallard. Some
Malort.
Jepson's Malort.
Malort.
Is that
It's
what it is?
from
Malort?
Jepson's
Yeah.
Malort.
Jepson's Malort.
from Chicago.
And it looks from here like paint thinner.
Yeah. Gasoline and that could be sisters.
It's going to be you know what? I have an open mind.
I've never tried it, but it has a real reputation.
No one here, I guarantee you, no one in Anacortes has tried that. I would bet $100.
When I looked up what the notes
Swap, do you
for
agree?
tasting were for it, the first descriptor was gasoline.
Really?
Yeah.
Has the
So should I just say it right now? Or we're going to wait till
no.
break?
Can I
Well-
read? Can I read the thing?
No,
right?
we're not.
Let's do it
gonna
after
read
break.
Okay,
We're going to do
we'll
it after break.
break.
All right. Sorry. I was prolonging that. All right. We'll see you after break. This episode of the View from the Rock podcast is brought to you by Sign Dog Northwest, your source for custom signs, banners, boat names, fleet graphics, and more. Custom design services available. And our other sponsor, Merle Inc., is the premier custom home builder in the Cle Elum area and a proud featured home builder in Suncadia Resort in Tumble Creek. Welcome back to the View from the Rock podcast. And we're about to dive into some Jepson's Malort. Did I get that right?
I think you did.
Well, this Jepson's Malort, if you've had it before, it's not just any Jepson's Malort, because this is from a dear friend of the podcast, Mr. Eric Mithen. It was hand-delivered with a note to the View from the Rock podcast, guys.
From
Right?
Santa.
From Santa. Yeah. So
It's a special gift.
we really appreciate special gifts like that.
And I have long heard of Jepson's Malort. I've never
Really?
tried it. I have long heard of Jepson's Malort. It is a staple of Chicago.
That's what I've heard. When I had never heard of it either, and so when I saw this name on our show notes, I had to go do a little research, and I mean, it's quite controversial, is what I'll say. Has a long history too, though.
Okay, so I'm just going to read the bio.
And this bio is amazing.
And this is on the back of the box that came with it.
Correct.
Okay.
And the bubble wrapping that occurred is absolutely amazing. I've never seen anything wrapped that, like, when you ship across the U.S.
A bottle.
Yes, it's not going to break
Oh.
in that kind of bubble wrap.
Okay.
Oh,
It was pretty cool.
That's
like
awesome.
Rowan's like, oh, Dad, I haven't seen bubble wrap like that. You know how you bubble wrap the old days? They
Yes,
go
did you
snap
do it?
snap
Pop
on
it.
it.
Did he pop them?
He can't.
Not big enough.
No.
Dang it.
Has the aroma and full-bodied flavor of an unusual botanical. Its bitter taste is savored by two-fisted drinkers.
I think that is almost poetry.
That's
Are
a
we
real
re-
mic drop right there.
Are we ready?
Oh,
What are you going to say, Swap?
let's taste it first.
And then you're going to say, okay. I'm excited.
I'm afraid.
It looks, before we taste it, it looks like a bottle of paint thinner. Would you agree with that?
Yes.
I mean,
It's like a
it looks like a watered down whiskey. Right?
yeah, and it smells strong, but it's a liqueur. It's 70%.
70%, not 70 proof.
Or 70 proof, sorry. So 35% ABV.
I'm surprised it smells a little sweet.
Let's try it.
That's gonna be terrible. Oh,
You know what? It's not as bad as the one beer we got from Tara. Tara, I love you. I know you're going to redeem yourself one day, but
Oh, good Lord. I'm going to smell like that for 2 days.
I don't. People are supposed to drink this. Man, it is cloyingly bitter. Like it's dry on my tongue.
Listen to this description I found on the internet.
Oh my gosh.
So I think the taste of this is wormwood.
Yeah.
So listen to this, and this is perfect. Wormwood is exceptionally bitter and tastes quite a bit like grapefruit pith.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
I don't even no.
Can you taste?
And you're not saying grapefruit piss. You're saying grapefruit pith,
Yes.
which is the mealy thing that's between the skin and the flesh of a fruit.
right.
Which
And
is-
it does. It is
Yeah.
a little bit pithy.
Now that you say that, that's right on. Normally, a botanical would be like a bitters. Like you can get some.
Well,
What is it
like
Angosteen bitters, but you just don't drink
well,
that. by
normally you
itself.
put bitters in like a
An
different
old-fashioned.
drink.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder if you substitute.
So
that
hey, by the way, that bottle will be on my shelf. It might,
forever.
yeah.
Oh
Or
my
if
gosh.
whoever loses the next game has to drink
It's just
some
like
of that.
it shivers.
What would you pair that with, Ruck?
You know, in my research, I did find that you could.
A ginger ale?
No, you can probably pair it with some sort of a grapefruit type drink. Like maybe if you're going to make a Greyhound, you could probably put something in that. It's just going to enhance the bitterness levels.
I'm not even sure this is healthy.
I question that.
But you
as
know
well.
what? It's definitely better than that one beer we got from Canada.
So the other thing that's interesting about this is wormwood is the main thing that's in. Is it hypnotic or whatever that alcohol is that's like hallucinogenic? Absinthe.
Absinthe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
And-
actually have taken a shot of absinthe in Vegas.
So absinthe
It was amazing.
it has, because of the wormwood, it has some sort of active hallucinogen in it that I can't remember the name of now. And this, because it has wormwood, also has that, but just in very small amounts. Fact.
But we had
shake your head at
had the legal version,
Yeah.
and it wasn't. I mean, it was just a funky drink for $50.
For sure. But like, I'm talking real absinthe, not
No,
the stuff
yeah.
they can sell at the store.
Yeah.
I'll be damned. This reminds me of in Iceland, they have like the national alcoholic beverage in Iceland is called Brennivin, and they call it the Black Death. And
Uh-oh.
it's like a caraway flavored vodka.
It's like, have you had aquavit? That is a similar thing, but it's Swedish.
Really?
Yeah. Caraway.
Aquavit.
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 Yeah. It's like water something.
Well, that's what aqua means.
Caraway is just like black licorice kind of, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So a black licorice flavor.
The Brennivin doesn't have that. How about ouzo? You ever had ouzo?
Yeah. It's all kind of the same family.
Yeah.
And it's really syrupy looking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Used to be popular when I was in college. What do you have to say?
Well, anyone that wants a shot of that, they're welcome to come over.
Has Eric ever tried it?
No,
Eric Mithen? No?
no,
Then he needs to have it.
and
some point.
but he knew
What
or
he's-
knows what it tastes like.
Oh, okay.
I've got to be honest, it's growing on me.
I think maybe on some ice, it'd probably help bring out the characteristics.
I think
Hey, maybe when we go see Pearl Jam at Wrigley.
I think I could have this with like a nice Polish dog.
There's a lot of things I'd rather have with it. Could I do that? Yeah, but
Jepson's Malort, ladies and gentlemen.
now that you say that, I could imagine that this would be nice with, if you're gonna have a Polish dog, the sauerkraut that you'd have on it.
Yeah.
It would be a real nice contrast with that.
So my Polish dog does not have sauerkraut on it.
You get a 0.
I know, because I don't like sauerkraut.
Hey, have you guys done the hot dog with cream cheese?
Yeah, it's a Seattle dog.
Yeah, it's really good.
I
Cream-
don't like hot dogs.
Cream cheese.
You don't like hot dogs?
What?
I thought we talked about this
You-
already.
I think we did.
You know who
I
loves
don't.
hot
I
dogs?
like a Polish dog. I like a sausage dog. I don't like a hot dog.
What about a Costco dog?
No. If I go to Costco and I happen to wait in line for that long line, I'm getting a piece of pizza.
Have you ever got like the chicken bake thing?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's pretty good.
It is. It's a lot of
is.
bread, but it's pretty good. Once you
Yeah.
get through all that, it is good.
So, you know who likes
hot dogs? Zero.
One of our loyal listeners, Reese Folks. One of her favorite foods, hot dogs.
Who does
So,
it?
do you ever do hot dogs and mac and cheese the old days?
Like you cut up the dog and the mac and
then
cheese?
you put it in the Kraft mac and cheese.
Oh,
I know the 1983 to 88
yeah.
kids.
That was like a staple.
Yeah.
I
Mine
mean,
was that without the hot dogs.
anything that you put inside Kraft mac and cheese that's a meat is just going to enhance it.
Well, it goes both ways. The Kraft enhances the meat
Oh,
too.
it's a
So Reese is a big hot dog lover.
loves hot dogs.
Do you guys remember the Vandy Camp pork and beans
Yes.
in the can?
Yeah.
Sure. I don't know
How
if I
about
ever-
the old pork and beans when the real pork came out?
Oh yeah,
You'd get the big chunk.
Oh.
yeah. That was a different thing.
Okay, are we ready for the beer of the
Yeah.
week?
We're ready.
Okay. So this is the Hop Venom Double IPA by Boneyard Brewing in Bend, Oregon. So let's pour it.
And did you happen to look this up on Untapped?
We were a little late, so I do not, for the first time ever, have an Untapped review tonight.
So I can get that for us really quick while we're doing
Okay.
some other stuff. But part of the reason that this was picked was from the Great Rosario Market was that it was one of the highest rated IPAs they had there at, I believe, 4.14.
Out of 5?
Yeah. It's hard to find something over 4 to begin with.
Yeah. I'm not the initial Boneyard IPA. I'm not a big fan of,
Oh, really?
like the original.
This has happened to me very seldom. Maybe this might be the only time this has happened to me. The original Boneyard, I got a skunky 6-pack one time.
That sucks.
Yeah, and it was kind of ruined it for me.
Yeah. So this is a 9% ABV. IBU is 60. This West Coast double IPA will strike your nervous system with a venomous mix of Simcoe, Centennial, Chinook, and CTZ hops. And I was asking Ruck this, Swap, I don't know. It says at 4.5 pounds per BBL. That's the first time we've heard that. So is that like 4.5 pounds of hops per barrel?
Yeah, I think it is a super highly concentrated hop.
So it's a delicate malt profile, allows for the double dry hop flavors and aromas of tangerine and pine to dominate.
So I was about to say this, and maybe Swap, you can confirm this, but what I saw was the BBL is going to refer to dry hopping. So I think that it's the amount that they do per batch of either per batch or per batch of hops. So like, say if you're dry hopping 10.8 BBL batch with 11 pounds of hops, has to do with some sort of ratio maybe of dry hop to regular.
I think we might need to get a hop chemist in here at some point.
Oh, we just need to go to a brewery with their brewmaster. That's what we need to do.
Well, what about Bastion?
That's a great idea.
Would love that. Hey, so it was on Untapped 4.11. Do you say
That's good. Out of
60
5.
IBU?
60 IBU and 9% ABV.
And the style guide it says is a classic West Coast Imperial IPA. It's big and malty, yet surprisingly balanced. I like the sound of it.
All right. Give it a taste.
Cheers.
Ooh.
Oh, it tastes like prime rib after that Jepson's
I was
Malort.
going to say,
Oh, it tastes
think
amazing.
my mouth is a little bit.
Dude, Ruck is smiling so much right now.
It makes me happy to drink something other than that Malort.
Thank
I
you,
think-
thank you, Mithin. But you know what?
Man, that was a real prank, essentially, is what he played on.
That
us.
gives you get a 0.5.
What is the word in literature when a word sounds like what it means?
An onomatopoeia?
Is malort? I mean, I don't know if that's
Malort
quite.
sounds awful.
I don't know if it's quite an onomatopoeia, but
Because you're saying like bark or scratch.
or zip
Yeah,
or burp,
right.
right? But malort. So malort's not quite that, but it's definitely malort.
Like you could see malort being a swear word or
Right.
a description because it sort of sounds like malarkey.
It
Yeah.
sounds like Malort is in the Lord of the Rings.
I think that might have been in the Lord of the Rings.
That's what they drank.
Wow.
That probably kept them warm at night when they were on their way to the towers.
Yeah, or they'd have it at second breakfast.
The
Yeah.
Battle of Mordor. How did
Have you guys read
How
those
did
books?
Zeppelin ever get into the Lord of the Rings?
They got into some weird stuff. Jimmy
Like,
Page.
I mean, you
Psychedelic,
can.
brother.
Right.
Well, Jimmy Page lived in like the mansion of Aleister Crowley, I believe, who was really into like some mysticism and maybe pagan stuff.
Okay.
I mean, they have all those symbols that are like zodiac symbols, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Maybe not zodiac, but they have symbols.
I think it was Aleister Crowley. Am I right on that?
I don't
I'm
know
going
who
to Google that.
is.
While you guys talk about this beer, I'm going to Google that.
I just think about Mr. Crowley. Is
Yeah.
a song from
That's what I-
Zeppelin,
From Ozzy.
Ozzy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was that's
That's
what I
what
thought he
I'm
was
thinking.
saying too. So if I had to describe the flavor,
Oh, do you?
it's
do
definitely malty.
do
You know,
s-
here's the problem. I still feel like there's just essence of Malort in my mouth as I drink it, and
you
I
didn't
don't
clear
know
your palate
how am I going to clear my palate.
with some water.
I don't have any water.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have any water either.
Hey, just real quick, to quote Mr. Morgenthaler. So, the house that was originally occupied by occultist Aleister Crowley was on the south end of Loch Ness,
Oh,
and Jimmy
Wow.
Page lived there.
yeah.
after
So
he
that's
did.
why they have some of their lyrics.
That's going to
They
just be
say
it.
on the depths of Mordor.
Yeah. And
So
they have the song
how
Battle of
about
Evermore. Right?
Yeah, Battle of Evermore. So we'll have to do this maybe on the secret podcast, but the Loch Ness monster,
Are we saying like,
what's real?
How about top 3 mythical creatures?
that's what I was thought you were going for?
maybe,
Because
yeah.
I know you're a big Bigfoot guy.
Well,
Yes.
and we know
Bigfoot is real.
we know that someone who listens to our podcast who is a big Bigfoot person.
Mm-hmm.
Do they want to shout out or I don't know.
You know what? I would love to give a shout out to Justin and Tasha Kirby.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, are they Bigfoot people?
Oh,
yes.
well,
Big
I know
time. She goes to
Tasha
conventions.
is Justin?
Uh,
I don't
No.
know. I'm not sure about that one. I know she is for sure. Big Bigfoot person.
I'll be damned.
yes. Yes.
Bigfoot's one of those ones, or Sasquatch, where you find
It's
different
100%.
versions.
It's 100% real.
Anyways, you find different versions of it in different societies, right? Like Abominable Snowman, or they have some other name for it in Japan, I feel like.
There's the Florida skunk ape.
I mean, my dad's seen 26
Chupacabra.
Yes.
footprints of feet in the middle of
Maybe that was
in the middle of the state of Washington.
It was just
Like
Robert,
in the
Robert
middle of-
Swift,
in the middle
or
of nowhere.
George Mears' son.
Like there's no possible way that there's a person that has that there.
So is it like magical, special powers? How does
I don't think a Bigfoot has
escape?
special powers. I think he's just big.
And has big feet. It'll be a good. The secret podcast is going to be electric.
Electric. Hey, speaking of electric, we have top 3 fictional athletes to go over.
And this is where did we get this idea? Because this might be the best idea we've ever had.
We got this from Guy Mitchell.
Who
Oh yeah,
friend of the podcast and also the best fake mustache I've ever seen at a costume party. Sign Dogs party.
yes,
That was a great honor.
It was yes,
Yeah, it was next level.
legendary.
Legendary fake mustache.
We didn't discuss ahead of time who'd like to go first.
Well, real quick, can I say that I think in the Secret Podcast, we might go back to this and do like top 3 fictional from each sport.
We at least just
Because
need to discuss.
this is hard. Like I have 10.
Yeah, we need to at least discuss all the great ones. I mean, because you could even kind of go down a rabbit hole, and I hope I'm not ruining one of yours by saying this person, but like, I mean, Forrest Gump is a fictional character.
Yeah.
And
And
he's
he
a great
played at
character.
Alabama.
Yeah.
High motor, tremendous stamina.
So like if you think about it, all these people, but I started going down the hole and then I changed 360.
Like
I went to just like the movies that I thought were so funny, and like these people are legendary.
that's what you ended up at.
Correct.
I
but
think
like
if
like,
you asked me 10 different times, I could have a different top 3 every time.
so we need to think about it in terms of football, basketball, baseball, golf, hockey,
Absolutely.
other.
I mean,
And we could have a top 3 for all of them.
We should have top 3 fictional coaches.
oh yeah. And there was some moments I was thinking about that, but decided to go more
Norman
with the
Dale.
athletes.
Morris Buttermaker,
Yeah, knew
Yes.
that one was coming out. He was featured previously.
Emilio Estevez, and Mighty Ducks.
Absolutely.
That was Ruck was like 9.
Craig T. Nelson in that movie with Tom
Mighty
Cruise.
Ducks was amazing. That was my childhood.
I know. That's your childhood.
John Candy in Cool Runnings.
Oh, Cool Runnings. I didn't even think about that one. I couldn't tell you any of the characters' names though. But that's actually one thing I was thinking about when I was making my list was that there are some movies where it is a great sports movie and there are great characters, but there's such a great ensemble that there's not one that really rises above the rest of them. Like, oh man, now I can't think of it. The one with Denzel Washington.
Jesus Shuttlesworth. He got
Yeah,
game.
no, he got game.
No,
Well, he was in that too.
yeah, I know.
And he was going to be my number 1. He's not now.
Okay. The one about football. Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
It's a
Yeah.
great movie. One of my favorites. Some great characters. I just don't think one of them is what carries the movie. And that's kind of what this category is in some ways to me.
But you know what? I could say that my top 3 could be from my favorite movie of all time,
Well, I mean, absolutely.
Caddyshack. Like you could have 3 guys could be there.
Yeah.
Judge Smales.
Well, does he count though?
But
He's not an athlete.
but he hits a ball. He hits a golf ball. It's easy to grin when your ship comes in. You got the stock market beat. Ha ha ha.
How many times have you watched that? Don't answer. Who wants to go first?
77.
Anyone feeling?
I'm ready.
led?
I'm ready.
Otherwise, I'll
I'm
start.
I'm
Okay,
ready. I
go for
think
it.
I'm I'm going to blow your mind.
I mean, and the other way.
Swap doesn't know this yet, but it's gonna make him think.
Okay.
Thinking
I
it's
think
good.
it is. I think
Yep.
it is.
Let's do it.
She's a badass. Dottie Hinson.
Oh, yeah.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, League of Their Own.
Yes.
Yeah.
Dude, she's a badass.
Yeah.
Right? That made you think a little
It
bit.
did make me think a little bit. That's great.
Yeah. She is, I mean,
And I think I said this before, but this is a movie I haven't seen all
Correct.
the way. I've seen parts of it.
so you've seen parts of A League of Their Own, but not all the movie.
Because it's often on TV. And so I'll be like, oh, I haven't seen that. And I'll turn it on.
Gina
and it's halfway
Davis.
through.
She was a badass.
And Gina Davis was perfect for that role
Yeah.
because she was kind of physical and athletic, but also really pretty,
Yeah.
you know?
And she did all that.
Yeah.
Because everyone was at war.
Yeah.
And it was the team. I just lost it. We had it
Peaches.
before.
Peaches.
I know, but
Rockford Peaches.
Rockford
you
Peaches.
go.
Yeah.
And then the guy that was doing the broadcast, wasn't he from
Oh, man.
he was from the Laverne and Shirley.
Oh, was it Lenny and Squiggy?
Yes.
It was Squiggy, wasn't it?
Yes, Squiggy. I guarantee. Yes, 100%.
I'll be damned.
No idea.
You've never heard of a Laverne and Shirley?
I have. I just don't know who that character is in the show. I used to watch it because it was maybe some of those classic shows that would be on Nickelodeon. I feel like they
No, it was not on Nickelodeon.
No, they used to do like Nick at Night, and it was like all the classics, like Laverne and Shirley and The Odd Couple and shows like that.
Do you remember Laverne and Shirley and Happy Days back to back growing up? Or am I too old?
No, not at all. Yeah, hell yeah.
I used to love Laverne and Shirley.
So,
Yeah,
but
so
those
did
would
I.
be like reruns because like Happy Days, was that really going on live when you were a kid?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, what? Really?
Yeah, I'm old.
Well, but I just thought it was like the 50s but that's when it took place, I guess.
Yeah.
So I'm not too bright at it. Well, speaking of not too bright, I can go with my number 3 because my number 3 is not too bright. Unless you want to go.
Go for it.
Okay. My number 3 is Ricky Bobby.
Oh, yeah.
You know, he may not be an athlete because he's a race car driver, but he does sure know how to shake and bake. There are so many great lines from that movie, like, Grandpa, I just drank a whole liter of Mountain Dew and I'm about to go spider monkey on your ass. Like, that is a great, wonderful, hilarious movie.
I had a hard
love
time.
it.
I had a hard time.
With that one, watch
You're
it.
No,
leaving it
because
off.
Ricky Bobby is so much fun for me. If you're not first, you're last.
Yeah,
Like I just watched it again. I've watched that movie 15 times.
Talladega Nights.
Yes.
The Christmas where they have like Kentucky Fried
Dear
Chicken
baby Jesus.
Yeah,
and Domino's Pizza and Budweiser.
And then when he walks in and he's not married to her anymore.
Oh,
John C. Reilly is amazing. too.
yeah, he
and
is.
those two are
They're
such a
be-
great
they're-
couple.
oh, I
Step
know.
Brothers.
I know.
They made together two of the greatest comedy movies ever.
You know what John C. Reilly's greatest movie might be? Boogie Nights.
Yes, I agree.
Have you seen
And
Boogie Nights,
No,
Rock?
he is not.
No,
Oh,
not even close.
No, really? You don't even know what?
No,
Well,
Okay, so
I haven't even smelled it.
so despite the
Hey, I'm
content, it's
sorry.
a great movie. It's a
you
great movie.
have to watch Boogie Nights during Christmas break.
Now is that
And-
the one with Jon Favreau? Is he in that?
No, it's Mark Wahlberg.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Burt Reynolds, Don Cheadle, William H. Macy, Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Yes,
That is quite the cast.
It is a
it's-
great movie.
it's a great movie. You're gonna love it. I think you'll love it.
All right, I'll have to check it out.
Okay.
Great movie.
Swap number 3.
Jimmy Chitwood.
That's a classic.
I know.
He was just the stereotypical, doesn't say anything, gonna make every shot, Indiana legend. And I weighed my picks heavily on the quality of the movie.
Yeah, I can see that.
And that's one of my favorite sports movies.
It is.
It's an iconic
It is
movie.
for me. I mean, in terms of a sports movie, every time I watch Hoosiers, I cry.
It captures the
Swaps.
romanticism of basketball.
And Swap knows. We were at the state championships, and I'm coaching, and we watched Hoosiers, and every girl is looking at me. Oh my God, Coach Morgie is crying right now.
And the spring before, I had my baseball team watch it at the state championships. And
Dude, it's amazing.
Man, maybe that's what we need to do for cross country. We always watch some.
No, you
man,
need to
we
watch
a movie.
Hoosiers.
We watch a movie about Prefontaine.
No, watch Hoosiers.
And-
He died.
Yes, but his legend lives on. But you know who plays Prefontaine in that movie and where it was filmed?
Yes.
It was filmed at UW. And oh man,
Where was the scene where he drove around and died?
Jesus, Morgie.
Well, no, I mean,
It was Billy.
but where would it be though? If it was
Freeze
filmed
Rock in Oregon.
I didn't mean that Swap. I just meant like where was it filmed?
It was filmed at like UW area,
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
Who played him in that? There were two movies.
So the one that I've seen, there's also a lot of local sports casters in it. Like I think Eric Johnson's in it maybe at one point.
Eric's Little Heroes.
Yeah.
What?
the guy who's the lead singer from 30 Seconds to Mars,
I have no idea who that is.
Yeah, you do.
Jared Leto.
Jared Leto has been in movies.
Oh, he played Pre.
He plays Pre.
Yeah, he played Pre.
Also in, oh God, what was the movie where his mom was obsessed with a game show? He was on drugs.
Yeah,
Requiem for a Dream.
Oh, yeah.
Yep. Oh,
Man,
man.
nightmare fuel.
That
Great movie.
Great book, too.
I think
it
that
was
might
Hubert
be the
Selby.
Eric Mithen drink for Jared Leto that night.
Hey, real quick, back to Jimmy Chitwood before we move on. I think he had 2 lines in the movie.
I'm going to make it.
That's one.
Or I will make it.
And what was the other one?
I'm not, if I don't.
Coach goes, I go.
Yeah.
He stays, I stay.
Gosh. I didn't even remember.
I got goosebumps.
No,
right
it's amazing. Like, I cry every time I watch Hoosiers.
I just got goosebumps right now.
I just don't want to watch it anymore.
'Cause
I'm
you
going to
don't
cry
like to
every
cry.
time.
You love crying.
I know. I cry. I actually cried this week.
Hey,
I cried actually last night.
fun fact.
Watching all the UW stuff that I sent you. Oh my God.
Well, you
dude.
cried on the way down to the high school championship
did.
game. He was crying in the passenger seat in traffic in Everett
Because of UW?
because he was playing UW radio clips from the game.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
It's magnificent. It is.
Who's your
Okay.
number 2?
So my number 2 is going to blow people's minds because Rock's never seen it.
You're already saying I've never seen it? You don't even know.
And I already told you. Roy McAvoy, Tin Cup.
Oh, yeah. Gotcha.
That's good. That's good.
Like he's like the normal dude. Like the guy that just happened to make the qualifier for the US Open, lives in a motorhome. He likes to drink beer, and he made it. And then he had a girlfriend that went away, and then she dated the best golfer in the world, Don Johnson. And then she ends up coming back to him. And he completely dissolves in the final round.
That's a great pick. And how many great movies is Kevin Costner in that are sports movies?
Bull Durham. Field of
5.
Dreams.
For the Love of the Game.
5, 6.
And Renee Russo was Renee Russo?
Renee Russo was the one.
Was she also in
Don
Major League?
Johnson
Don't
was
forget,
the best golfer.
McFarland, USA.
Oh, yeah, for you cross-country fans out there. Was Renee Russo in both Tin Cup and Major League? I'm going to fact-check that.
But I mean, that's he's awesome. Just how he works through it, but then he just falls apart at the end. Like he hits a water shot twice.
Wow.
And
that's
he's in the
demoralizing.
lead.
He's got the yips.
Yeah. He was like, and his caddy is Cheech. And we talked about this before you got here, Swap. Ruck does not know who Cheech is.
That is not even. That is
Well,
not
he
what
does.
I said.
He's never seen Cheech and Chong.
That is what I said.
Yeah.
Do you know who Chong is?
I mean, I don't. I think I know who Cheech is. I don't know who Chong is.
So Renee Russo was in Major League and Tin Cup.
She's integral to the sports movies.
Well, and I've got somebody that was in Hoosiers that is also in another movie of one of my major characters.
Who's your number 2?
Well, I'm not going to tell you yet because it's not my turn.
Okay.
Wow. Well, then I'll go with my number 2. My number 2 is Bobby Boucher.
Oh,
H2O is better. Foosball's for the devil, Bobby. Don't you go playing that foosball. My mama said, my mama said, it is such a funny movie.
That's a
I
great
love that movie. And you know, it's really hard to make football movie where the football looks believable. And I'm not necessarily saying all of it does, but they do a good job of making his tackles and hits feel like real tackles and hits.
Yeah.
Adam Sandler, he could have his own top 3 of sports movies. He's got a lot of great sports movies.
He does. Uncut Gems, Waterboy,
Scout? What is that the name of that Scout movie?
Happy Gilmore.
I'm sorry, but Happy Gilmore, I think this list needs to be 10.
Well, we probably should have just put a little more parameters on it.
Or we do different sports because there's so many. I mean,
I think we can put parameters on this in a future podcast and do it again and be just fine. Like fictional sports characters in a comedy.
Yeah, agreed.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. What's your number 2?
Reno Hightower.
Wow.
The Best of Times, Kurt Russell, Robin Williams. Have you guys seen this movie?
I have.
It's been a long time. Dick Fryer. I'm not sure if Dick Fryer is a friend of the podcast. He's a friend of ours. I don't know if he listens to the podcast.
Well, he should.
But he gave me that movie to watch, and it was like on an old DVD or a VHS. It's good.
Yeah. So Kurt Russell plays Reno Hightower. They're 20 years out of high school. They lost the big game their senior year because Robin Williams dropped a pass. And somehow they end up playing like a reunion game against the team that beat them. And it's a classic underdog story. And Kurt Russell plays Reno Hightower, who was the best quarterback in the history of the school. And he's just the perfect stereotype of kind of a washed out old high school athlete that never left town.
I'm remembering there's a little special nugget about that movie and the Friars. What is Robin Williams' character's name?
Jack Dundee.
So Dick Fryer's son, Jackson Fryer,
Yeah.
middle name, Dundee.
No way.
100% after that movie.
Jackson Dundee Fryer.
Yep.
That's the most beautiful thing I've ever heard.
No way.
Fact.
Oh, wow. That gives me goosebumps.
Hey, you guys do yourself a favor and watch that movie again.
I need to.
I'll make that happen. Okay. Hit us with your best shot. Here we go. Morgie, fire away.
Are you ready? I'm ready.
I bet I haven't seen this.
I think you have.
Okay.
Well, it's not a movie. It's a series. So my number 1 is because I love his one-liners, and I just love it. Kenny Powers.
Yep.
Oh, man. I didn't even think about that. That is so good. I love Kenny Powers.
Are you ready?
I can't wait.
Okay. I play real sports, not trying to be the best at exercising. Kenny Powers is a man. So if you've watched Kenny Powers, do you know who's talking right now?
Yeah, I can't think of his name.
Okay,
He's
yes.
in the Righteous Gemstones. Have you seen that show?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh my.
And
oh
like,
my gosh.
and you've seen Vice Principals.
Oh,
Yeah.
Vice Principal's amazing. He plays a vice principal.
What's
Yeah.
his name in real life?
I have no
Sorry
idea.
to put you on the spot. I can look it up while you're doing that.
Kenny Powers is an athlete. Kenny Powers is a lover. But the thing that Kenny Powers is the most, he's a goddamn champion.
Danny McBride,
There we go.
Danny McBride.
which is almost as good a name as Kenny Powers.
Epic.
Have you
No,
seen Vice
they're-
Principals?
Oh,
That was it was like a season or 2
Yeah.
series, right?
and he's with the guy from Justified.
Yes.
Walt Goggins.
Yes.
Yeah, who's great.
Also in Righteous Gemstones.
It's so
Baby Billy.
Kenny, like there were so many things I wanted to say that
Yeah.
we can't say till the secret podcast.
Well, I remember there's one quote where he's talking to his wife basically, and he's like talking about
His
how
girlfriend or wife?
whatever. and how he earns the money, and that when he doesn't have his job, and she's like, well, now I'm earning the money. What are you going to do? Oh, it's great. I can't even say it.
So, hey, he says I'll say just a little. He goes, why would I work 100% when I can work 35% and still get all the money?
So
this was hard, though, for me because there's so many.
Yeah.
Like Rocky, I left Rocky out. Jesus Shuttleworth. Like it's hard, but it was funny.
I left out Kelly Leak, Bad News Bears.
Yeah. I mean, I could take all three and go straight to my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah.
Caddyshack.
I left out Benny the Jet Rodriguez.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Sandlot.
So number 1 for me was already said within the last minute. Happy Gilmore.
Ooh.
I didn't realize it till after, but my top 2 were Sandler movies. So I love that movie for a lot of reasons. It's hilarious. They do a lot of great montages in that movie. The part where the guy's gotten his hand eaten by an alligator, and he's got the fake one, and then it eats it again.
And do you know who that is?
Yes, that's Creed.
Yes.
Apollo Creed.
Yes.
Oh, that's right.
Yes.
You got Bob Barker in there.
Oh.
Now, is the guy that played Apollo Creed, that's a different guy than... No, yeah. Yeah, you got Bob Barker in there. He punches Bob Barker at one point. And then Bob Barker kicks his butt.
Yeah.
And then he said, the price is right?
The price is right, bitch.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, my gosh. The part that I think separates it is that this movie became a part of pop culture, and that anytime you're out at a driving range, probably someone's going to try the Happy Gilmore golf swing.
Yeah.
Because that is fun.
I've tried it.
It's fun.
There's in baseball, Happy Gilmore drill.
Really?
Yeah.
Trying to set your feet, or what's the purpose of it?
Trying to use...
Sorry to put you on the spot.
No, but it's trying to get people to get through the ball and use their body and get momentum.
Yeah.
I didn't explain that very well, but there's a purpose for it.
It is funny, actually. In shot put 2, it's essentially a shuffle drill for us, where you're getting your hips more involved a little more easily because you can get them underneath you a little bit better.
Yeah, there's an aspect to his swing where you're swinging from your ass.
Yeah.
And that's the purpose of the baseball drill as well, is to let things go a little bit.
But one of my, for that movie, like one of mine that was close was Shooter McGavin.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shooter what?
Hey, Shooter McGavin. McGavin?
McGavin.
Okay. Did I say McGavin?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, baby. Shooter McGavin was amazing.
Shooter.
Hey, how about the guy that says, hey, you want to go to Sizzler and catch some grub? Do you remember that?
I don't remember that
From the
one.
movie. Oh, yeah.
Well, take us home, Swapper.
Well, mine's not as fun as yours.
We went funny. You went
You
like
guys
quality
went
movies.
funny. I tried to go quality movies. I'm going. Well, Reno Hightower was lighthearted.
I know where you're going.
So my number one's Roy Hobbs.
Yes.
The Natural.
Yeah.
Robert Redford. Just a great movie, great book, great character in American literature and film. Just captured the romanticism of baseball. You've got a guy who was a phenom, injured. He was actually shot.
Bloody?
Yes.
When his last shot.
He comes back as this mysterious old man that can just drop bombs.
You know what? I'm going to cry. Like what you just said. It is amazing.
And it was
watch it.
And baseball was different in the era when that was written.
It was.
Not every guy was a home run hitter.
No.
You might have a team had, a guy that if he got up, you just hoped he would hit one out.
He broke the lights.
And then at the end, he broke the lights.
Yeah.
In the book, he struck out.
Really?
Yes.
So,
which ending do you think is better? I feel like we've had this exact conversation on the podcast.
So today we had this talk. Reese Vokes watched that movie 2 nights ago for the first time ever with Bob, her dad, Bob.
Wow.
The
and
movie.
she was like, "What the? Why haven't I not seen this?"
The movie
I cried.
It does a pretty good job. The book was so good, but there's good and there's evil,
Yeah,
and you see it
it's
in
a
the movie.
great movie.
There's, he falls in love with a woman named Memo Paris, and she's always wearing white, and the woman in black that ended up shooting him was always dressed in black. Barbara Hershey, who was in Hoosiers.
Yeah,
That's classic symbology.
It is symbology,
Love that.
man. Ugh.
so what's the difference between symbolism and symbology?
Same thing.
Just different word.
I don't know if symbology is actually a word. I just like saying that.
Did you guys just make up a word?
Ruck did.
Symbology is not a word.
So it wouldn't make
So I said symbolism.
So I think that
I won. I just won.
So
I
here's-
won the day.
I'm going to explain to you how symbology could be a word. It would be the study of symbolism.
not a
because
word.
Ology is the study of
Okay.
something. Like biology is the study of life. Bio means life.
So how-
Therefore,
So you're just making
symbolism
it up.
is a thing that
So how do
existed.
you explain Scientology then?
It's the study of science and what they would like it to be, but it's not for them.
Hopefully we didn't alienate any listeners.
I think I just won over Ruck today
You couldn't.
for that word.
You could not grasp what I was just saying. Following.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't.
I
you-
did.
Whatever. If you want to think that you won in your head, that's fine.
Hey, shout out to fictional athletes we did not mention. Rocky Balboa.
Cheetah Shuttlesworth said
And-
it again.
I would just like to mention too that this was fictional characters. So someone like Vince Papale from Invincible,
No,
right? Wouldn't
he's
count.
real.
Yeah, wouldn't count.
Everybody in Caddyshack. They're amazing.
Also, everybody in Lambda from Revenge of the Nerds.
Oh, yeah.
Well, they won the,
Oh,
yes. Yeah.
Oh,
Man, I mean, we could
and
go there.
Ruck's never even seen that movie.
I have seen Revenge for the Nerds.
No, you haven't.
I actually have.
Really?
Because I want to go on the record as saying Lamar is the best javelin thrower in the history of
Oh,
cinema.
dude, the science and technology of what they did with that.
Yes.
Now, I'm sure you've seen it a lot more than me. So if you talk about it, I'll have no idea.
Who else we got? We got a ton.
I mean, you
There's
could have
so
said
many
Jackie
people.
Moon.
Jackie
Jackie
Moon.
Moon.
Will Ferrell's character in the Blades
Semi-Pro.
of Glory.
So maybe
Blades
we
of Glory.
maybe
Man.
we just through a secret podcast we go every genre of sport. Top 3. Basketball.
We need to revisit this.
Yeah.
We really
There's
do.
so many people like
Yeah.
Cameron Hunt sent me something this morning I never heard of. And it was Kevin Costner. Maybe there's a cycling movie.
Breaking Away.
Yes.
Huh?
That he's like, that's in
No,
my top
Breaking Away
100.
was a different one. Kevin Costner was in American Flyers.
Okay. But Breaking Away, he brought up. And he brought up every single song or album that we talked about.
Well, and just
Shout out to him. He's a loyal listener.
and like we were kind of
And
saying,
Tara, you're still number 3.
like we were kind of saying off air. There's also coaches, which isn't going to get brought up here a lot. And so you think about John Candy's character in
Cool Runnings.
Cool Runnings. Thank you.
What about the coach for Blue Chips?
Nick Nolte.
Cheater. He got Shaq, Penny Hardaway.
I didn't ever see that movie. Was it good?
It was really good.
Of course you didn't.
Of course I didn't.
Hey, how about Air Bud? Dog athletes.
I couldn't name
How
a single
about Michael
person in
Jordan and
that. Oh, Space Jam?
yeah.
That should have made
How
someone's
is
list.
that not?
How about, do you remember the Disney movie where there was a horse that kicked field goals?
No.
I mean, that guy's got to be top 3 somewhere.
Wow.
Oh, I'm
The
sorry.
list
When
just
you
keeps on
when you
expanding.
said that, I went to somewhere different. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Hey, I'm sorry that we beat Enigma so bad.
I feel like that's kind of out of nowhere.
Well,
Enum Claw? Tumwater? Which one do you mean?
No, Enigma. So you'll know. if you know.
Okay. Well, I think that covers just about everything.
Swamp knows.
Should I know?
I don't know.
It was the year that you were graduated. What year did you graduate?
2006.
Oh, you were a junior. Yeah.
All right.
We'll
maybe
talk
you
about
can-
it
you
on
can-
on the secret podcast.
You can tell me off air. Okay. Well, that's been another episode of the View from the Rock podcast. Don't forget, you can find our show on YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, and anywhere else you can find your podcasts. Until next time, be safe.
So read that.